Anthony and the Circus. In the sleepy little town of Little Puddleton, nestled amongst rolling green hills and crisscrossed by cobbled lanes, lived a boy named Anthony Pringle. Anthony was not a bad boy, nor was he an unkind boy. He was, to put it simply, a master in the grand art of putting it off. His bedroom was a testament to his talent. School books lay open on pages that should have been turned a week ago. A half-finished model aeroplane gathered dust on his desk, and his football kit, still muddy from a match last Saturday, lay in a sad heap, dreaming of the washing basket. His father, Mr. Pringle, was a man for whom time was everything. This was hardly surprising, as he was the town's watchmaker. His small shop on the high street, with its cheerful bell that jingled whenever a customer entered, was a wonderland of ticking and tocking. Grandfather clocks stood like solemn soldiers against the walls, mantel clocks chimed with silvery voices, and inside delicate glass domes, tiny intricate mechanisms whirred and spun in perfect harmony. One crisp autumn morning, Mr. Pringle called Anthony into his workshop. The air smelled of brass polish and old wood. "Anthony," he said, his voice gentle but firm. He picked up a beautiful silver pocket watch, its back open to reveal the maze of shimmering cogs and springs within. "Look here. Every single one of these tiny wheels has a job to do, and it must do it at the precise moment it is supposed to. If just one little cog decides to be lazy, if it says, 'Oh, I'll turn in a minute,' the entire watch stops. It ceases to be a keeper of time and becomes just a piece of metal." He looked at his son over the top of his spectacles. "Life, Anthony, is much like this clock. Each task, each promise, each opportunity is a cog. Do things when they need to be done. Don't let your clock stop." Anthony, feeling the weight of his father's wisdom, nodded earnestly. "I promise, Dad," he said, and he truly meant it. "No more putting things off." For a while, Anthony was a changed boy. He did his homework the moment he got home. He tidied his room until it was spotless. He even wrote a thank-you letter to his Aunt Mildred for the scratchy birthday jumper she had sent him 2 months prior. Then, about a month after his promise, the telephone rang. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and Anthony was lying on his bed, staring at the ceiling and contemplating whether to start his geography project now or after one more biscuit. He answered the phone. "Is this Anthony Pringle?" a bustling, important-sounding voice inquired. It was Mrs. Higgins, the organizer of the annual Little Puddleton Talent Gala, which had taken place weeks ago. Anthony had entered, singing a rather beautiful rendition of the Ash Grove that had earned him a standing ovation. "It is," said Anthony. "Marvelous. Well, Anthony," she boomed, "I am delighted to inform you that after much deliberation, the judges have awarded you the first prize for your outstanding performance." Anthony's heart did a somersault. First prize! He imagined a grand gleaming trophy or perhaps an enormous box of chocolates. "You'll need to pop down to the town hall to collect your prize," Mrs. Higgins continued. "But you must come today. We close at 5 o'clock sharp, and the prize is time-sensitive." "Thank you, Mrs. Higgins. I'll be there," he chirped. He put the phone down, his mind buzzing. The town hall was only a 10-minute walk away. It was currently 3 o'clock. Plenty of time, he thought to himself, sinking back onto his bed. Oodles of time. I'll just finish this chapter of my book, then I'll go. Or maybe I'll have that biscuit first, just to give me energy for the walk. One chapter turned into 3. The biscuit was followed by a glass of milk and a long, fascinating study of a spider building a web outside his window. Before he knew it, the grandfather clock in the hall downstairs struck 4 deep, resonant chimes. "Oh, bother!" Anthony muttered. He felt a tiny pang of worry, but quickly brushed it aside. "Well, what's the harm? I'll just go tomorrow morning. The prize won't run away, will it?" The next morning, after a leisurely breakfast, Anthony put on his coat and strolled happily towards the town hall, whistling his prize-winning tune. He felt rather important as he walked up the grand stone steps and asked the receptionist to see Mrs. Higgins. Mrs. Higgins appeared, but her bustling energy from yesterday was gone. She looked at him with a mixture of pity and exasperation. "Ah, Anthony," she said with a sigh, "you've come for your prize." "Yes, please," he said eagerly. She reached into a drawer and pulled out a small, colourful envelope. "Here it is, or rather, here is what is left of it." Anthony opened the envelope. Inside was not a voucher for a chocolate factory or a certificate for a trophy, but a single, beautifully printed ticket. It read, "Signor Stromboli's marvellous, magical travelling circus. Only one night. Admit 1. Performance, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Anthony stared at the ticket. Tuesday. Yesterday. "The circus," he whispered, his voice trembling. Signor Stromboli's was legendary. They said his acrobats could fly, his clowns could make stones laugh, and his ringmaster had a talking parrot that could recite poetry. It had been the talk of the town for weeks. "That's right," Mrs. Higgins said softly. "The grand prize was a front-row seat. I saw the show myself. The Fire Eater was simply astonishing. A real once-in-a-lifetime performance." Anthony's heart felt as though a cold, heavy stone had dropped into his stomach. The prize wasn't useless because it had expired. It was useless because he had let the experience it offered turn to smoke. He had missed the magic, the laughter, the wonder, all because he couldn't be bothered to take a 10-minute walk. He walked home, the colourful ticket feeling like a lead weight in his hand. It was no longer a prize, but a mockery, a bright, papery reminder of the joy he had carelessly thrown away. When he got to his room, he didn't toss the ticket in the bin. Instead, he took a drawing pin and carefully fastened it to the corkboard above his desk, right next to his school timetable. He looked at it every day. It was a constant, silent reminder, a reminder that opportunities don't wait, that moments are precious, and that the word later is often the saddest word of all. He had learned his lesson not from a lecture, but from the ghost of a missed circus. And from that day on, whenever Anthony Pringle felt the urge to put something off, he would look at that ticket and remember that the clock is always, always ticking.